Hey everybody, Teresa here from Inspiration Cards. It is Monday night, the last Monday night in June, so I'm back here to share some projects using this month's Paper Pumpkin Kit, the Expressions in Color Kit. And last week I shared the original designs that came with the instructions from the kit. And so tonight I'm going to share a couple of alternatives, mainly using the supplies that you get with this month's kit. So next month I'll be, well actually it is next month. Next month and next week I'll be back and I'll share some alternatives using a bit of a combination of stuff from the kit and from the annual catalog. So I hope you'll tune in again here next week for that. And also there's a lot going on in the Stampin' Up! World right now. There's only a few more days left to get your hands on any of the products retiring from the January to June mini catalog. That's only on until Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, I believe, is the last day for that. And then also coming up, starting on July 1st, Canada Day for us fellow Canadians, there is going to be a Designer Series paper sale. So stay tuned here for details. I'll definitely be sharing more as we get closer to the date, but I'm excited. There's a lot of different paper packs that are going to be 15% off, and so hopefully you'll be able to take advantage during the month of July to get your hands on that. All right, that's enough of that. Let's get to some crafting. So let's turn this around. All right, there we go. So here is this month's box. I am super excited to repurpose this guy here. All right, and of course this month, 2 Stampin' Spots. Usually it's only 1, but this time we get 2. So we've got our Bumblebee from last year's new bunch of In Colors and Evening Evergreen from this year's new bunch. All right, and of course, here's our stamp set again. And here is the kit itself. So last week I shared the original designs here. And of course, there always are some alternatives on the back of the instructions, complete with what the coordinating colors are and everything that is supposed to be in your kit. All right, so that's that. I've pulled out what I need for tonight's project, so I'm just going to grab out this little piece here. So you can see I still have a few envelopes and card bases and things like that. So definitely lots more supplies for lots of other projects. All right, and of course we have our Evening Evergreen twine, our iridescent adhesive back sequins, glue dots of course, and our dimensionals. Perfect. All right, so to kick us off, I'm doing a bit of a monochromatic card here. So I've got one of the small Evening Evergreen card bases. I've trimmed down one of the pieces of vellum that came with this month's kit. And then I've got our hexagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, hexagonal label and one of our die cut pieces. So lots of Evening Evergreen going on here. All right, just going to poke out that piece there. And to kick us off, just going to fold this in half with my bone folder. There we go. All right, and this guy is actually going to get cut up a bit. So I'm going to cut this into 3 separate pieces. And then I'm just going to cut this chunk in half here. Nice to have a nice good chunk to stick on. There we go. Oh, and there's one more piece sticking out in the middle there. Grab that. There we go. All right, so there are our pieces here. So on the back of our vellum, what I'm going to do is, because this is going to be our main piece right here, so I'm going to stick a nice long strip of Stampin' Seal there. You can use your glue dots, or you can use liquid glue, whatever your go-to adhesive is. So that's just going to go right there. And that's going to be the main piece that holds that into place. Once I get our little pieces here in place, I might be able to tuck a couple more glue dots behind there, but that should actually be pretty good to make sure that doesn't fall off. So there we go. So I'm going to stick that on there for now, and I'm going to stamp what we need on here using Evening Evergreen. And in this case, I'm actually going to do a thank you. No, you know what? No, let's stick with the You're Amazing, I think. The thanks is just a tiny bit. Oh no, maybe. You might think. No, I think that's just a tiny bit too big. So close. So close. I was torn between which one I wanted to use. Alright, so I got the You Are Amazing. Just going to angle that a little bit on my block. Got a stick. And there we go. And that's going to go right on there. Centered as best I can anyways. There we go. And I'm going to add just a little bit, just a little tiny bit of foliage, I guess, so you could say. All right, so just gently tap that on the ink pad. A little bit extra on the side there, so just give that a quick little clean. So that's why you want to be very gentle and don't press down too hard. Otherwise, you'll end up with a little extra where you don't want it. So this I'm just going to have kind of stick out. I'm actually going to have it stick out here. Go. So it's going to connect from the border from there. And one more time from the border down in that corner. There we go. All right, now, oh, there we go. And I'm just going to say I'm going to close this before I end up getting ink on myself. Too late. I'm going to set that aside to dry for a minute. And while that dries, I'm going to just grab my pieces here just to get them positioned the way I want them. So there are 2 of the 3. And I think I do want the 3rd one, but I'm going to trim that off a little bit more. So that can go just kind of down here. There we go, just like that. Let me just lay that down one more time. All right, so I'm just going to space these out a little bit more. That way you can see a little bit more of the foliage. You don't have to have them perfectly overlapping because we do have this guy going on top. There we go, just like that. That looks nice. Give that a little shift. Perfect. All right, so that's where our glue dots are going to come in handy. So I'm just going to grab my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to use I like using the spatula end here. And that'll go just underneath there. There, and we can do, whoops, helps if it actually stays put where I want it. There we go. Let's try that one more time. There we go. All right. And then I'm going to put one more on the back here. All right. And then just peel off those papers. Go, and one more on this guy here. All right, and so I'm going to kind of work my way backwards. There we go. Oops. There we go. All right, and this guy's going off to the side here. Now that I've got this guy in place, it'll help me kind of gauge where I need these guys to go. So again, just going to scoop up a few glue dots. And we'll do one more here. There we go. All right, and this is going to go down in this corner here. There we go. It's going to stick out just a touch over the vellum. Here we go. All right, and this piece here is just going right here. So again, just a few glue dots, just to make sure it doesn't go flying away. And if you don't want to add as many, it's completely up to you how many you want. If you don't add that many, then it allows the die cuts to kind of pop up a little bit off the card base, if you want a little bit more of more dimension to your cards. There we go. All right, and this guy's just going to go right here. There we go. Perfect. All right, and now we've got our phrase, which is going to get popped up with a couple of dimensionals on the back here. Just like that. And again, just like the glue dots, give that a quick peel. And that's going to go right there. Just like that. And to top it off, got to add a little bit of bling. So let's add a few of these sequins in here. These are so pretty. And we'll do like that. Here we go. All right, and to finish this guy off, of course, we have our envelope. And I'm going to add a little something to our envelope. Go. So just throw that on there. And keeping with our evening evergreen, little something to seal it, so to speak. And then we'll do, I'm going to do in each corner. There we go. So still lots of room for mailing and return addresses, postage stamps, and the whole bit. So there we go. So there is our first card tonight. And the other one, here we go, is using one of the Fresh Freesia and Polished Pink card bases. And then I've pulled out one of the longer rectangular banners. And then I popped out the other two die cuts as well. So we're going to play around with that a little bit tonight. I really love these die cuts. Super cute. All right, and again, just gonna get that nice clean folds with my bone folder. All right, and again, I'm gonna cut these guys up. So there's our Fresh Freesia, and here is our Polished Pink. All right, and this time around, because we've already got the the alcohol technique on the card base itself, I'm actually going to flip these over and just create just a little bit of something with the pieces, kind of like that. So you still get the really neat shapes from the die cuts themselves, but they really pop against the background. All right, so stick these guys in place. We of course need our glue dots one more time. And of course this time we actually need to stick the other side. And I'm going to stay fairly close to the center on these guys. So I do want them to kind of raise up a little bit on the end. Oops. Oops. If you can get that one. There we go. And that's why I like the spatula end for these glue dots. There we go. All right, and this is kind of going to go in the center on the top part of our card. Just squish that glue dot in a little bit so you don't see it sticking out from behind that stem. And one more. All right, so let's flip these guys around. There we go. And again, same idea, just going to stick that on the stem with a couple just a little higher up. There we go. And this guy's going to go a little more off to the side here, just like that. All right, and two more. Almost there. So let's pull this guy. There we go. Pull those papers off so we can get this into place. That's going to go just down there like that. And these we want a little closer together, right? Because our banner isn't quite as thick as our previous one. All right. Give an extra little squish, get that in place. There we go. Just fold that in a little bit. And one more. This guy's going to go just right in here. There we go, just like that. So I'm going to grab our banner here. And in this case, I'm going to do a congratulations. These cards will definitely come in handy if you have any weddings or anything coming up. Just something kind of fun, something different. And since we have the fresh freesia and the polished pink in the background, I do want to add a little bit of twine, the evening evergreen. So that's why I'm going to dig out this guy again. And of course we've got the evening evergreen on our border there. Go, get that a little peel. Okay, and while that dries, just going to grab my twine here and do about an arm's length or so. Definitely not precise in that measurement at all. All right, and then this is actually just going to go, it's going to make a little bit of a circle, almost like a bit of a nest, to just go in the center here. Of course, we need our ends. Okay, let's see if we can rope these guys in a little bit. Definitely don't want it too neat and tidy. But you do kind of want those ends tucked in a little bit. So I'm going to grab my dimensionals here because that's what's going to pop up our banner and hold these guys in place. All right, so that's going to go right there in the center of our card. There we go. All right, so now that is not going anywhere, or at least the ends. So now you can play with kind of where you want the twine to go. Again, you don't want it necessarily looking perfect. All right, there we go. So I'm just going to add 2 more. Again, just to kind of hold the twine in place. Here we go. Just peel that off. And then we've got our congratulations right there. Cover that up. And of course, you can't not add that little bit of bling. I'm actually going to add 2 up here. Nice big open space, not too many splotches. So there we go. Card number 2. And of course, we can't leave our poor envelope with nothing on it. So just a little taste on the outside of what people are going to find on the inside. I'm just going to mix this one up just a little bit. And there we go. So there are our cards for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this crafting session. As I said, I'll be back next week with some more alternatives, and next week I'll use a bit of a combination of stuff from this month's kit along with some of the supplies from the annual catalog that'll work really nicely with this month's kit. One piece that that does work with this month's kit from the annual catalog. This was actually designed to coordinate with the Expressions in Ink Specialty Designer Series paper. So this should be back in stock fairly soon. It's been super popular, and you can see why. It's got some gold foil and elements to it, but it also has some of those that cool alcohol splotch kind of technique on the pages. It's super cool. This is definitely a pack of paper that I want to get my hands on. Sadly, it's not part of the Designer Series paper sale, but there definitely are some fun paper packs in there. So definitely stay tuned for the Designer Series paper sale. And if you missed out on this month's kit but want to get in on the kit for July, that has a camping nature theme to it and will give you everything you need to make 12 cards. So I'm super excited to get my hands on that one, and that'll probably be one that ends up coming camping with me and my family over the summer. I always bring some crafting supplies and my paper pumpkin kit with me, so definitely gonna take that to heart in terms of the theme. So if you have any questions about paper pumpkin or Stampin' Up! Or paper crafting or scrapbooking in general, just let me know. Oh, thank you so much, Diane. I'm glad you liked the cards. So if you have any questions, just drop a comment below, or you can send me an email at inspirationwiththeresa@gmail.com. You can also check out my other projects. I'm going to be sharing some cards from a recent team card swap on my blog starting tomorrow. So you can check that out at inspirationcards.com. And I will be back with some more alternatives next week. So I will see you then. Take care, everybody. See you soon.